Hi guys. Okay, this is kind of different. I don't feel like doing high editing right now, so I'm just gonna play Fallout New Vegas while I talk about my experience with the MSF course that I did, and I thought it'd just be something different. So basically, this I actually did this video before, and I never actually followed through with it because I wasn't a big fan of talking. So my goal with this video is to just kind of explain the experience of the MSF course for myself. And it was relatively interesting. The MSF course was definitely let's see. Yeah, the MSF course was very interesting. A lot of it had to do with just the fact that I was a novice. I've never ridden a motorcycle before at all. So, imagine the experience of doing the course while at the same time not knowing exactly what you're doing. And the teacher was great. The teacher was relatively patient with everybody. He wasn't like condescending or anything. He was relatively, inviting and reasonable. And I'll do another mission. And he was very helpful. So, as far as I took the online class. The online course took about a couple of days to do. And okay, just tell me where to go. And the thing that was interesting about it was that it does it's the writing course was actually not writing, like the written course, the e-course was a lot more informative than I thought. Not that I didn't think it was going to be not informative, but I thought to myself, like, okay, so what we do learn is pretty much everything that the writing course tells you. And it's it's very informative, very necessary, and fairly useful. And I'm glad that I actually was able to get through it in time before my next class, for the actual weekend class. Uh oh. And oh, there's a glitch. Look at this game. This game is so glitchy. I love it. Um, so the the actual writer course was really inviting. There was five of us. There was supposed to be a sixth person, but no, I'm good. Um, I'm just not. Are we gonna do another mission? Yeah. So anyway, um, the actual course was very inviting. We had about five. There was supposed to be a sixth person, but that person never came. And what did she want me to do again? What was I supposed to do? Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the fact that I don't remember what I was supposed to do. Um. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay. Oh, find a Brockfire and a Xander. That's really a fetch quest? Okay, I don't remember that. I haven't played this game in a while. But yeah, he went through a lot of the stuff that we already would have learned, and it was fairly interesting and useful. You know what? I'm gonna wear this. So what I learned when the writing part was probably the most difficult part for me. And like I said, I've never written before. Oh, this looks lame. I'm about to turn this back. Um, the writing course was relatively enjoyable, but it was hard. I'm somebody that needs certain information given to me, and differently than other people. It's like I might be neurodivergent. I'm not sure, but that's not what she needed. But he had to do a lot of one on one with me, and sometimes the one on one worked a lot better. Once he explained it and shaped it, re explained it differently than others. I actually managed to nail certain things, and I managed to nail and understand, exactly how to do it. My biggest weakness was, and this is just the fact that I've never actually rode a stick before. I've never driven a stick before in my life. I've never done manual. My parents have, but they never actually taught me. So that was kind of like whatever. But yeah, I was very new to to manual driving. So that's why gear shifting was hard. Clutch levering was hard, and the reason why it was hard is because I kept letting go of the clutch, and I think letting go in the clutch was it's like I almost got the clutch and the brake confused. Like I got them mismatched. Like I would literally I would actually slowly edge on the brake instead of holding onto the clutch because you got to hold on to the clutch fast, not the brake. The brake you ease into because that's obviously the brake. So I would usually take the clutch and then I would let it go when you're supposed to slowly let it go, and I would stall the bike instead of letting go of the brake fast. So the brake is something that goes fast when you let it go. The clutch is something that you ease open. That and the gear shifting, everything on the left was definitely new to me. And gear shifting was very tough because I couldn't really find. I think it was the kind of boots I wore too. I wore some pretty crappy boots that I was not a fan of. They were like steel toe boots. Steel toe boots are like almost look like Mickey Mouse shoes, and I could not detect the gear. I did get some different shoes the next day, and I was able to gear shift better. Shifting into second gear was probably my hardest feat because I've never shifted gears, especially on a bike. My gosh, this is different. I dropped the bike once. It wasn't the exam. Thank God it was not the exam. I did not drop the bike on the exam. I dropped the bike on during just the practice, and it was just so frustrating. But the one thing I love about that teacher, the one thing I love about that teacher was he was very relatable. He really kind of made you feel fairly well. He made you feel welcome, and he also connected with his students because he talked about how he made a lot of mistakes too in the past, such as dropping the bike a lot of times. And dropping it once, I was easy. It's easy to get mad at myself. I get very stressed about things, and I get fairly upset, about certain things, and that that's not good, So he told me to take a deep breath. When I get stressed and fairly intensified emotionally, I have to remind myself to take a deep breath. And so he came by, told me to take a deep breath and asked me what happened, and I explained it. And I realized the reason why he did that was because I think he wanted us to see an external part of ourselves for what we can I'm gonna heal myself. What of like an externalized aspect of ourselves that we can fix. That's why he asked. That's why he says, why did you do this or why did you do that? Explain to me. I like that a lot. I think that kind of clicked with me. Like he's like, okay, so he's trying to kind of help us look from the outside in of what we can fix, and that's how I was able to be able to find improvement where I could. And sometimes I just overthought things. I had an issue with directions. Sometimes I just get confused sometimes easily. I easily get confused about directions. I easily get confused about, like certain things that are so simple until, I get redirected. I'm like, oh. And the one thing also, I met, developed a couple of friendships with some of the students. And, they helped out too. They gave me some advice here and there. And that was very helpful too. And they commended me on things because some of them look like one of them looked like he had a history in bikes. A few of them had a history in dirt bikes. So that's probably close. I mean, the closest I've had to a bike is a motorcycle. I mean, not a motorcycle, a bicycle. Bicycles, bicycles are bicycles. So yeah, that was different. But yeah, it was definitely new for me. But I started to get it, and I started to do very well. Let's see what was I supposed to do? Okay. Oh, okay. Good. So we're starting a campfire for what? Um, I forgot why we were even starting one. What was I supposed to do? We talks. Okay, so we gotta start this. What was I supposed to do? What? Oh my gosh, this game is. I don't remember how to play this game. Oh, there it is. Um, but like I said, um, There it is. But like I said, it just sometimes I had some extra directional. I need some redirection, some one on one. Um, I'm a huge overthinker, so I overthought a lot of. I overthought a lot of what he was saying, and I overthought a lot of the directions. When it came to the exam, actually no, let me start over. U-turning was probably, and I don't know why, but U-turning, sharp turns were actually my strongest aspect. I don't know why that's the case. Literally, he told me that for a novice, I was U-turning and using techniques that expert riders couldn't do. That's crazy to me. That actually made me go like, wow. I mean, I'm thankfully I didn't have it. It didn't boost my ego. It just made me want to make sure that I'm continuously doing it right. So yeah, U-turning and the box was very was easy. The technique is it's different than a car. Because when you're in a car, you're in a larger space, so you don't have to do much effort to look. The other way. Um, when it comes to turns and sharp turns, you really have to turn all the way around. Your brain connects with the rest of your body just by reflex. If you look the other way, if you turn the other way, you know, especially when on your bike, your body's just going to communicate to turn away, and then that's going to communicate to the bike, to turn away. It really is the one thing interesting thing I've learned about bikes is that like you got to let the bike take you. Let the bike pull you. Don't sit there. I was trying to force the bike. I was doing a lot of jerkiness with the bike. I was like, oh, like that, because I was struggling to control the bike. But I think the problem was I was trying to overly control the bike instead of allowing the bike to offer control. And that's something that she walks way too freaking slow. Now what? Uh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm ready to dip. Okay. I need to go to Prim. Okay. So I'm taking that stupid jumpsuit. So yeah, it's a lot of it is with the U-turning was looking the other way, looking exactly where you want to go, looking exactly where you want to see your trajectory. You can't look down. You can't look in front of you. You can only look ahead, and it makes so much sense now. The more I think about what that means to really look ahead, because you really do it's like you almost have to have a certain degree of omniscience, which it might not make much sense like if you have never ridden a motorcycle before, but when it comes the omniscience comes from just being able to look at your surroundings in such a way where you are able to know where to go and you have confidence in how you want to get there, such as using that for escape zones, or I can't remember. I think it's called escape zones, but finding those escape routes, storing cars. These are things that I'm gonna learn when I get a bike. In the future, I can't learn this stuff now, but it's something that I think about and something that I make sure I remind myself. I look at my book, my MSF book, every now and then. I look on YouTube and just remind myself of the things that other riders do, which really like YouTube videos are great because there's that first person perspective, and sometimes projecting yourself in there, especially when you haven't got a bike yet and you just finished the course, is always a solid reminder. And I've always appreciated that. Where am I supposed to go? But when it came to the exam, I actually did fairly good. The exam was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was actually kind of nervous about the exam. The exam ended up being very solid. I did a couple of things wrong. I didn't follow directions. I stalled the bike once. And those were two. And I think another thing I did was when I was veering, I hit the object. I not an actual object, but a hypothetical object, and that was another screw up. But other than that, um, I was able to slow down instant. In the middle of the square, I was able to shift gears. No, that's something I couldn't do, and I did much better at. I did a better job at shifting gears. Um, and I think the one portion that I think I did the best at was speeding. So basically, die. Basically, the last exercise was um, going at an appropriate speed, shifting to an appropriate gear, which imply well, he said the speed was 20 miles an hour, 20 miles, and shifting to second gear. I did all that perfectly, and I did not think that I don't know what this is one of those times where I didn't overthink. I wasn't nervous. I was just flat out confident. And I shifted in the second gear. I went to first gear, shifted in the second gear, sped up to 20 miles, slowed down at an appropriate speed, and did a sharp turn and stopped the bike at the white square, bar none. And he said, and that right there was probably my favorite part of the entire course was the fact that I was able to do that without any issues. And even though I think I probably performed the worst out of everybody. Not to say I did bad, but as somebody that's a novice at writing in general, it was I probably didn't perform the best out of everybody, but I still passed, and I was fairly happy with myself. I was definitely accomplished, and here I'll show y'all now. It feels good. It felt so good to pass that test. It felt good to be able to have this. I love. Oh, wait, that's my information. Not too much information, but it's good to have this. This right here. It's good to have. Basic rider course card. MSF. It's good to finally have that. It's amazing. And I think my goal right now is to just save money for a motorcycle. It really was an amazing experience, and I'm glad I did it. That was the first thing I wanted to do, for my New Year's resolution is to get my motorcycle license. And the reason why I'm getting my motorcycle license and looking into riding is because I'm trying to get over something that I'm not gonna say explicitly, but I'm trying to get over something that happened. It's an experience, and emotionally it affected me in such a way where I was depressed over the weekend. Not this weekend, but the weekend a couple of weekends ago. I was very depressed. I was very inactive. Usually I'm going to the gym. Usually I'm working on content, but I was so depressed that I couldn't do anything because I was kind of left into a hanging spot of what happened. And I think the one thing I've learned from this MSF course is that if you don't do the things that you say you're gonna do, you won't have experiences like this, and you'll end up still being in a shell. Um, but I've also learned from this negative experience I've had with someone that people change. People change. There's not much. It's pretty simple. It's simple, but it's also poignant that people do just generally change, and there's nothing you can really do about that. You can't force people to see your perspective. You can't force people to change at your will. You can only just go with the flow and continue to worry and build yourself up. That's really the reality of the situation. The reality of people is that people change, and there's nothing you can do about it. And sometimes those changes do hurt us. Those changes do question ourselves, question our own self worth. And I was questioning my self worth, and I was putting myself down. And it's easy to want to blame the other person, but you really have to you gotta look into yourself and realize that you're gonna be okay. And that's all that really matters. So yeah, I passed my course. I'm very happy about that. Um, like I said, hopefully before it gets warm, I'll be able to get a motorcycle. Um, it's not easy finding one on the Facebook market, but I feel like I'm not looking for anything fancy. I'm just looking for a starter bike. That's all. It's like a starter bike around the 400 or no, actually no, not 400. Like maybe the 600s. That's really what I want. Something around the 600s. 600s and above. Maybe even a 500. Just something that's fast, not too overly accessible. But that's just what I vibe with. I'll learn, and I'll definitely take due practice. Oh, that thing's not dying. But other than that, I think this is probably gonna be the end of the video. I don't really have too much to say on that. And I know I should be working on other things like movie reviews and stuff like that. But I don't know, I didn't feel like it. I was like, if I'm gonna do anything, let me just do a video about my personal experience that I had with motorcycle riding at the MSF course. So yeah, I had a good time, and I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I was able to pass the class. So yep, that's the end of the video. Like I said, I'll be working on a couple of things. It's just been a very, I've been very lazy. Sometimes just I'm a very high effort editing kind of person, and sometimes I just want to work on stuff that's simple, like just this. Just talking and playing a freaking old game from 2010. That's still awesome. So yeah, if you subscribe, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the sub. If you like videos like this, just let me know. Like if you like videos just me talking and playing video games, let me know. I like doing stuff like this anyway. Something simple. So I think I should have been talking to him a long time ago. It doesn't matter. But either way, I'll talk to y'all later, and peace.